right, you're welcome back to the AM show, and thanks, Maps, for bringing us AM news. And guess who's here? Enimwa.
Hi, good morning, Israel.
Good morning to you. How are you?
It's so good to be here with you. I'm fantastic. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was good.
Oh, great.
It was good. Very restful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear. Shall we delve straight into the newspapers this morning?
Sure, yes.
Okay, want to start?
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to start and have the daily graphic with me. So the banner headline, Job Scam Hits Labour Ministry, Hundreds for Victim. And we're building consensus on appointment of MMDC East as the president. And then supply of Sputnik V vaccine, Finance Minister ordered to retrieve 16.3 million cedis from the supplier. And that's a conversation we'll be delving into, one of the conversations we'll be delving into later on the AM show. So let's go to this first story, where an ongoing recruitment scam, which began in January this year, has seen a number of desperate job seekers fallen victim to it. The Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations puts the number of victims in their hundreds. Since January, scores of disappointed youth have been trooping to the ministry to lodge complaints. They are in their hundreds, and they keep coming almost every day to make reports. The Assistant Public Relations Officer of the ministry, Mr. Osei Upoku Jemfi, disclosed to the Daily Graphic last Friday. So let me skip to what's been happening. It says the victims of the scam claimed they paid between 800 cedis and 1,500 cedis to suspected scammers through mobile money. Mr. Jemfi said the ministry was collaborating with the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies to investigate the scam. So this is a problem that they're having to deal with, but people have lost, people who actually are desperate for a job.
Yeah.
They don't have a job and they're looking for a job. And they've come up with 800 cedis, between 800 and 1,500 cedis to get a job. And then turns out that, well, you don't get a job and you also lose the money that you paid to the suspected scammers. Well, that's what they're dealing with. Hopefully, they're going to find the people behind this scam.
But Israel, basically, it's quite rare to find that you apply for a job and you have to pay money.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think as soon as you're trying to apply for a job and you kind of hear about any payments or anything, you should know that something is amiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just print that out there, just in case.
So yeah. you want to think that these people who are looking for the jobs are smart enough.
Yeah.
But well. We're building consensus on appointment of MMDCEs. That's the president. So President Akuado has said his team is working hard to reach a consensus on the appointment of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. He said various reports to him by the committee set up for the selection process was currently being scrutinized by his team, and that very soon the list will be ready. 8 months into his second term, the president is yet to announce his MMDCs, a development that has raised concerns about the effective operations of the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. And he was speaking on Tamale Bay's Justice FM. And then Finance Minister ordered to retrieve 16.3 million cedis from suppliers. So the ad hoc committee of Parliament that approved the contract agreement for the purchase and supply of the Sputnik V vaccine has urged the Minister of Finance to take steps to recover the 16.3 million cedis which was paid to Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum. However, an attempt by the minority in Parliament to push for a motion to sanction and remove the Minister of Health, Mr. Gukwaji Mamino, from office over the purchase of the vaccine was blocked last Friday when the second Deputy Speaker, Mr. Andrew Siama Mwako, deferred the ruling on the motion until the next meeting of Parliament. And this is something that happened in Parliament last week that the minority haven't been happy about, because they're saying the Speaker, they had an opportunity to bring a motion against the Health Minister. And then the Speaker says, okay, I defer that to the next meeting in Parliament. And they were really disappointed because we're hoping that they could. And I would want to believe that they believe they had the numbers. And,
which is why they were pushing for it. Yeah.
They were pushing for it, but it turned out that no, that didn't happen. But well, we'll be talking about that in detail on the AM show. And the NPP will break 8-year election spring. That's on page 18. The Vice President Dr. Mamadou Bawumia has reiterated the determination of the New Patriotic Party to break the 8-year electoral jinx in the 2024 polls to sustain their socio-economic gains. That will be hinged on the party's commitment to accelerate socio-economic and infrastructure development across the country and the various social interventions which were transforming the lives of all Ghanaians under the stewardship of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He then says Ghanaians will continue to give the NPP the mandate to the NPP to continue governance beyond 2024. We will deliver and we will break the 8-year electoral tenure in Ghana with our strong foundation. Right? And the NDC begins consultations on electoral reforms. That's on page 19. Cocoa Board to introduce digital scales. That's on page 20. And let me just, President commissions 2 projects in Savelugu. That's on page 41. And then government receives 177,600 doses of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. And we're going to be getting a bit more about that. But they've taken delivery. There are many people in the country who are yet to receive any vaccines at all, to get any jabs at all. And so this is welcome news. Excited. And fortunately for them, they're not going to be, well, they're getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is just a single dose. Unlike some of us who
the AstraZeneca.
We had to take it twice.
Yeah.
So you've injected only once. So, yeah, it's nice. It's nice that, well, even though it delayed,
it's finally here.
It's finally here. So we'll be speaking with the Ghana Health Service about the rollout, how this is going to be done.
I'm interested in the criteria.
I would want to believe that they'll continue with
Don't say the underlying conditions.
Well, it's one of those. Okay. It's one of those. So they want to continue with that, gave preference to the elderly and those. Okay, fulfill dreams of Nkrumah others. That's Pastor Ottaville. He's urging the African youth. Okay, let me just go to the back page. Artist Heroics win MTN FA Cup for Accra Hearts of Oak.
I have nothing to say if that's what you're looking at me for.
Okay, but yeah, let me just reiterate that. So Accra Hearts of Oak, they won the MTN FA Cup, which means that they've done a double, and they're supposed to be playing the Super Cup. But how can they play the Super Cup against themselves?
Can I just do my newspaper now, please?
Yeah, but it's also on the back.
I was just going to do it first so that I just, get it over and done with. Because we conquer hard things first. So my first story is from the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Unfortunately, Hearts clinched double, overpower Ash Gold to win MTN FA Cup. And of course, it was 8-7 and based on penalties. So we've done it, we said it, let's move on with our lives. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Can feel my bitterness and my pain.
Yeah, that's
on the front.
you get over it.
Okay, all right. So automatically Hearts wins the Super Cup.
It doesn't happen like that. I think we should Hearts should split itself into 2.
And so play each other?
Play each other. Hearts Team A, Team B, they play, and then they can win the Super Cup. Because they can't just handle it.
But either way, it will still be Hearts of Oak.
Well, yeah, we want to compete with ourselves because we can't get competition in the league.
Wow, Israel. Okay, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning, somebody should send Israel home. Parliament suspends action on ad hoc committee report on Sputnik V purchase, but committee chair says the minister was candid. Ghana takes delivery of 177,600 doses of Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccines. President opens 7.3 million Ghana cedi factory to produce 2.8 tons of rice in Savelugu Northern region. I love these stories, rice, pineapples, tomatoes, depending on how you say it. The sustainability, you want to hear how these factories are doing 3, 5, 7 years down the line. And so far, our record hasn't been too good. Hopefully, this will bring some change, some sustainable long-term change. 3 pastors grabbed over death of a woman at prayer camp. That's on page 3. Man gets 15 years for attempting to snatch a motorcycle. A story that caught my attention: anger after Zimbabwe bride 14 dies giving birth. And Zimbabweans are in a bit of an uproar because the child marriage issue is still very pertinent. So 14-year-old girl got married and then got pregnant and then died trying to give birth. Because really, at 14, your body is not ready for that kind of stress at all. So very, very sad story there. There seems to be a lot of things happening around the world in terms of bad, sad stuff. So in North Korea, there's been flooding, major flooding. In Greece, there have been wildfires. And in Afghan cities, the Taliban have advanced. So they're not happy there at all. Kind of makes you grateful for the peace that we have this morning, doesn't it? Other stories in the Ghanaian Times this morning. Government is committed to tackling fertilizer shortage. So there's a shortage of fertilizer. The president has assured farmers of government's readiness to address the shortage of fertilizer in the country. He says the government is aware and plans are underway to provide the farm input as soon as possible. I don't really know what that means. Plans are underway to provide the farm input. We like dates, in days. So you'll get this amount of fertilizer in 2 weeks or 3. Okay, go ahead.
So when they say plans are underway, we're thinking about it. So we're discussing it. How do we get the fertilizer, right? How do we get the fertilizer? How do we distribute it? So that's the discussion.
Oh.
The discussion phase.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Meanwhile, we have dry season, rainy season, people have to plant it and stuff. But anyway, let's continue with the plans are underway. It's all good. Okay, Jamaica appoints honorary consul to Ghana. In the middle page, that story about the Savelugu rice factory. Ministry of Education inaugurates 7 governing boards of public universities, and of course the Johnson & Johnson vaccines also in the middle page. Like Israel said, we'll be talking about that in depth a little later on as we discuss the rollout and other issues. Ghana exceeds 1 million cocoa production target in 2021. That sounds fantastic. Hopefully that will translate into some good money that can go into different things like building schools, expanding hospitals, finding fertilizer, the UTAG strike, paying. There's a lot of things that we have to do with money here in Ghana. It's very, very serious.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I'm talking about the UTAG strike. University of Ghana and KNUST suspend end of semester exams. They have rescheduled the exams and have said that they'll put up a new date pretty soon. So no exams for the kids quite yet. I can imagine the anxiety that they must be feeling. I also imagine how some of them must be very, very happy. Those who weren't ready. They'll say God is working for them. Please, God is not working for you. This one, dear. Car importers must use clearing agents for process, as according to customs. Japan breaks previous Olympics medal haul. United States rallies to top China in Tokyo Olympics gold medal tallying. We're talking about all these gold medals and Ghana. Anyways, tearful Messi confirms Barca exit. He's set to join Paris Saint-Germain in a 2-year contract. And he's been crying. He's very, very sad that he's leaving. But I wonder what it feels like, when you move from one team to another team and then you're playing your old team.
Well, yeah. I've never found myself in a position like that before. But I guess, yeah, you feel some way about it.
Yeah, you would.
You're supposed to deliver. And I like the bit about where he said he actually offered a pay cut. I mean, he offered to take less salary. So
but they still couldn't afford it.
They still couldn't afford him.
Oh, Barca.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Anyways, thankfully, we've already done the back page, so we can happily move on to our next newspaper.
Let's move on to the Finder. And on the front page, Ajima Menu didn't lie to committee over Sputnik V payment. That's Afenyo marking. And I'll move to that story on page 5. So the point he's making is that the minister, according to him, so he says he didn't lie. So according to him, the minister in his testimony did not state emphatically that no payment had been made, but rather said, to the best of his knowledge, he was not aware of any such payments. So yeah, don't say he lied.
Right. Okay.
But, so you see the story on the front page, and then you also see the story, 2 projects costing 13.34 million commission. That's President Akufo-Addo also inspects ongoing projects. So it's about some projects that have been commissioned by President Akufo-Addo so during his tour, 2-day tour of the Northern Region, President Akufo-Addo commissioned 2 projects, a rice factory and the Savelugu Technology Solution Center. The total cost of the 2 projects commissioned is 13.34 million. So that's in the center spread of the finder. The issue I just want to take note, the 2 projects saw 13.34 million cedis. And then on the front page of the daily graphic, supply of Sputnik V vaccine. Finance Minister ordered to retrieve 16.3 million cedis from supplier. So that's 3 million extra. Essentially, this is money that we've given out, which we probably may not get. We're trying to get a refund. We probably may not get. But that money could do so much.
So much, yeah.
So much. I hope we get this money back.
I hope so too.
But if we don't, there should be some sanctions.
I hope when we get it back, we use it for the right things as well.
In fact, even if we do get the money back, there should be some sanctions because we could have lost this money.
Definitely.
Okay, so also on the front page of the Finder, Parliament charges Sofriata to recover 2.8 million paid for undelivered Sputnik V vaccines. Public debt CD management has been one of the best, Dr. Baumia. And yes, I think with that, I'm done with the Finder.
Okay, oh good, nothing on Hearts of Oak, fantastic. On the front page of the Daily Guide this morning, Blay retains GNPC, Aliu's son for Ogisdec, 7 boards for public universities inaugurated, NDC goes after E.T. Mensah. That's interesting. We shall support you for Dadmon development, Yana to Nana, and Sputnik deal was a mess, that's according to Bako. And that story about E.T. Mensah on page 3. And apparently his sin is that he had dared to correct the misinformation and propaganda that the NDC was spreading concerning the $200 million Saglami housing scandal, for which 5 people, including 2 ministers who served under the Mahama-led NDC administration, have been arraigned before court for willfully causing financial loss to the state, among other charges. That story on page 3 if you're interested. The godmother, female mafia boss arrested. So a top female mafia boss who's known as the godmother has been arrested by Italian police when she attempted to leave the country for Spain. So apparently she's 70 years old. Maria Lisiardi, she was arrested and she's a kingpin, serious kingpin. Anyways, should we say queen pin? Not sure. Okay, new curriculum encourages creativity. Teachers have confirmed that. We're happy to hear. A female police officer, has committed suicide in a hotel over debt. She left a note saying that she owed people. And so she was killing herself. Diana Hamilton, on her wedding anniversary, has said, "I married the best husband God ever created." Wow. 16 years, 16th wedding anniversary. And she, of course, is the reigning Vodafone Ghana Music Awards Artist of the Year. And she says, that's what she was gushing. And she said that her husband is the best husband ever created by God. And when given the chance, she will marry him all over again.
That's sweet.
That's so amazing. I wonder how many wives can say that. That if they had the choice, they would marry their husbands. Okay, he went to Pope John, we've heard. Apparently he went to Pope John. I don't know how much that contributes to him being a good husband, but we thank God for good husbands.
Yes.
Okay, Nanama McBrown Briggs undergoes surgery in Germany. And apparently she's having some issues with her hand. She had an accident in La Paz 8 years ago, and she's had surgery a few times. And looks like she's having a few problems. So, of course, our thoughts and our prayers are with her. Sure. Hawkers take over Medina Footbridge. Oh, Ghana 4. We fought and cried for the footbridge. The footbridge comes and the hawkers have completely taken over it. Completely. They are selling all sorts of things. Clothes, earrings, mango, alasa, phones, everything. It has become like a market.
Is it a Zongo Junction?
It just says one of the footbridges. But actually, when I drive, as for Zongo Junction, let's not even talk about it. That place is like a jungle.
No, I thought the Greater Accra Regional Minister went there.
And but the thing is, he left. He didn't stay, did he? You don't know how they come.
He had put some things in place.
Wait, okay, let me tell you how it works.
Okay.
So, the Greater Accra Regional Minister will come. He'll come and, hey, Baba. Then the police will come. They'll come and as soon as they go, no, members are back. You don't understand, eh? We are very, very resilient.
My understanding is that in the median, they've put up some fencing so that you can't get into the median, which will compel you to have to use the footbridge.
I see.
So then that's the way to control
Okay, so it says that now that the facilities have been put up, hawkers who were uprooted from the sides of the highways during the recent operations to restore sanity along the highway have comfortably taken up the spaces on the footbridge.
Exactly.
So resettlement from the sideways to the actual footbridge.
And you see, I would want to think that it's just a hawkers, going to their customers. So the customers were coming to them by the roadside.
But now if the mountain will move to Metusala.
If they've moved the customers
to the footbridge, then they're selling. They sell your Kagari crown on the bridge. Wow. It's not a joke at all. Anyway, MOG, Joe Metal have released a new single on Friday. It's called Yesu. We absolutely love MOG and Joe Metal, apart from the fact that they're very handsome men. Their music is fantastic, isn't it? They're both married. We do not lust after married men, Israelite, please. Do not even lie.
What have I said?
You didn't need to. I could feel your spirits talking to me. Anyway, back page of the Daily Guide. Don't return to Chelsea. Glenn Johnson cautions Lukaku. It was a very, 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 very cautious caution. Thierry Messi bids. I have to commend the Daily Guide this morning for not featuring the Hearts of Oak story. Fantastic.
Are you sure it's not there?
Fantastic.
It's probably not on the back page.
Work. It's not in the Daily Guide.
Really? How could they miss that?
They didn't miss it. They are just doing God's work this morning. So, good morning.
I'm sure somebody will be sanctioned for it's the biggest sports story.
Yeah. Okay. What paper do you...
Let's go to the BNFT. So miners question why they should pay energy recovery levy. Players argue that they shouldn't pay for debt they didn't contribute to. And I'll read a bit of that. So the Ghana Chamber of Mines has said it is unfair to slap its members with energy recovery levy, even though they did not enjoy the subsidies which led to the debt.
We also didn't take part in the bank collapses, but we are paying tax.
Oh, slow down.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Unlike domestic and industrial consumers, mining firms typically procure electricity at a premium from the regulated market or through bilateral contract to power utilities, but have been asked to pay 20 pesos per litre of petrol, diesel as energy sector recovery levy, as well as 18 pesos per kilogram on liquefied petroleum gas. In essence, mining firms neither contributed nor benefited from the subsidies that resulted in the legacy debt. Its president, Eric Esponting, said during a meeting with Parliament's Select Committee on Mines and Energy in Accra. And it makes sense, really. If they didn't benefit from, all these levies, all the subsidies, why should they be made to pay the recovery? And this energy recovery levy, too, has been around for a while. Anyway, Fiscal Consolidation Committee keeps... Fiscal consolidation commitment keeps investors in financial market. IEA calls for greater clarity regarding energy and financial sector debts, and new cocoa initiative already attracting memberships across Africa. That's a Cocoa Boss CEO, and enact policies to boost manufacturing sector. Then we go to the back page where Adansi Rural Bank opens a Jusu branch and MTN launches 2021 Momo month. 3 SUVs, other prizes at stake for agents. So
Interesting.
Just the agents. Okay, cool.
Okay. There's a story on page 7 of... Wait, were you done?
No, that, yeah.
Okay, there's a story on page 7 just before we go to our online. Page 7 of the Statesman. Man butchers pregnant wife and commits suicide. It's actually 2 stories. So a 35-year-old man has killed his pregnant wife and then he committed suicide. And then a 26-year-old woman has been stabbed to death for threatening to divorce her husband. So 2 women killed. Remember that a few weeks ago we had this almost back-to-back, over a month, killings of wives, and girlfriends. And I don't want to think that it's happening again, but 2 in 1 week is a little bit worrying. I think we have to up the conversation on domestic violence and all those things and getting and staying safe, really. But maybe we should do some online stories.
Okay. Sure.
Should we go to myjoyonline.com and let me just take a couple, well, not a couple, a few. Tamale interchange to be completed by end of 2021. That's according to the contractor. Savelugu is part of 101 districts to receive a hospital through Agenda 111. All right. Ghana Health Service records 9 more deaths in COVID-19 fight. Opposition to dual citizens holding key public service positions entirely speculative. That's according to Professor Asare. Our management of the CD has been one of the best, and that's Dr. Baumia. And of course, Joy 99.7 is back on air. We're off air yesterday till about 5 for some maintenance work, but we're back on air. So Jache Quayson is being misled by his party, Peter McMahon, and the UTAG strike students are the only bargaining chips we have. And that's very sad to hear.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have time maybe for one paper.
Okay, maybe the custodian. Let's quickly run through it. So Health Minister was honest with us. Safenyo Marking tells MPs. That's on the Sputnik vaccine probe in Parliament. NDC plots mayhem towards 2024 polls. Then second year of routes, $46.7 million interchange, 80% complete. 120 million cedi Tamale Daboya road to be completed in 2023. Baumia unveils UG's entrepreneurship program. Chairman Bonsu grabs CPA post. NDC youth organizers defend Pablo. And on the back of the custodian, everything has been great. Ayush shares experience at new club. I never got any offer to play for Ghana myself this year on his France career. And there was an interview he had on Joy FM on Saturday. Arsenal estimate Partey injury return time after losing midfielder to ankle problem. Right? That's for the custodian. Okay,
so it's 7 o'clock. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the sports. We have showbiz a little later on. We have that conversation on the vaccines, the rollout, everything you need to know.
And then the Sputnik V Pro.
Yes, please. It's a very interesting show coming up this morning. Don't go anywhere.